honor to start this official signing conference, the newest edition of the St. Martin Annual Regional Trade Show, known regionally better as SMART. All four partners have been long preparing the comeback of this well-known regional event to forge new economic ties for the island, as well as well over half of its properties has been restored. The now 70-year cooperation of SMART fits perfectly to the mutual ambition to establish more cooperation between the two sides of the island. We thank partners like Winair being present here, Maduro Travel and others who are already given other trust to SMART for this year. It's my pleasure to hereby pass the word to the Honorable Vice President of the Collectivité, Ms. Valérie Damazo.
Thank you very much, Will. It is indeed a pleasure that we're here today gathered in front of our most symbolic monument, of course, so which means this is something very much serious and in which that we are very proud to do. And we congratulate the Hotels Association, both French and Dutch. Ever since taking office in 2017, our mandate on the French side has made it known that in order to succeed on this little small paradise island, we need to extend our hand over to our brothers, our sisters, and of course, I'm talking about the Dutch side, of course, in order for us to advance and work together hand in hand. So it was not only the vision of ministry, it was the vision of the tourism board, now the Hotels Association, and we continue to encourage all the partners of this island to continue to do so. Despite what happened in 2017, our partners saw fit to host the SMART event, to have the SMART event here, despite we're not at the extension where we had all our hotel rooms and stuff are back. But we know it is a work that will take time. And we first have to believe in St. Martin in order for us to promote it to the best of our ability. So I'm not going to be long. I really want to say thank you to both Hotels Association for the vision already, the tourism board for actually helping them out so that we may go forward. And of course, Minister, if no one understands now, they will understand that we mean that St. Martin is not divided as everyone sees it. We're here at the border where there is no real border, no real control.
Support this event, as the Vice President of the French side clearly indicated, this is again the testimony of strength, resilience and confidence of the two sides of St. Martin becoming one. That is what the Memorandum of Understanding that we initiated between the two respective governments and two tourist offices did. This now is further testimony to that by this symbolic border, by this symbolic signing today, and of course the commitment of the SMART Conference. What does the SMART Conference do? It gives the opportunities for small hotels, the entire tourism and hospitality sector throughout St. Martin, the region, and around the world to participate here on St. Martin for this next SMART Conference. It also gives Winair the opportunity through its discounts and otherwise, which of course I'm very fond of Winair as our national carrier, which will also bring persons to St. Martin. It's good for the economy, it's good for business, and of course it's good for St. Martin. We're again pleased to support this initiative. Again, congratulations to the organizers and the stakeholders that have partnered to make this event possible. And once again, St. Martin will continue to show its resilience in the aftermath of what was a devastating hurricane period in 2017. And of course, this once again shows that government is committed to the revitalization of our economy. Congratulations to the organizers that have partnered with us and with everyone to make this a possibility. And again, we see it as an opportunity for the economy to again show its strength, its resilience, and its bounce back in these times.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NV.
Council of Ministers of St. Martin and of the Kingdom are still discriminating. Equality salaries in the Kingdom for St. Martin politicians. What about our civil servants and teachers? Okay, just stay tuned and we will be able to explain. In the Parliament of St. Martin, they started a public meeting with a discussion on a draft ordinance for the company pension for civil servants and teachers with the APS fund. The APS representative came with some examples which led the daily newspaper in a front page article to conclude that the new pension system on the table in Parliament is an improvement for civil servants. Under the heading, civil servants would get more pension in pay system. On new pension law, this article was suggesting that the new pension pay system would result in a higher benefits for civil servants when they retire. This is an erroneous impression. I have got a number of calls, and why do we say so? First of all the new pension systems, an average pay system of the whole civil servant career was introduced because the average pay system based on the salary of the 2 last years was considered unsustainable for the funds. So the new average pay system will lower the cost for the pension fund. The second reason why civil servants cannot get a higher pension is that government was not complying with its legal obligation to pay 18% of the premium contribution on each civil servant's salary to the APS. As a matter of fact, the draft ordinance is even proposing for the government to reduce its premium contribution as employer from 18% to 10% of the civil servant's salary. So if the funds receive less money to invest, that system can give you more pension as a civil servant or as a teacher. A third way that is not benefiting the civil servant is the increase of the retirement age from 62 to 65, but not starting to pay the pension at age 62, but postponing the payment until the civil servant reaches 65 is a way to keep the money and to prolong contributions to the fund. But what will the civil servants get back in return if they do not pass away before they reach 65? So-called flexibility is given to the civil servant. If you want to retire earlier than 65, you can get a reduced pension. So you are being actually penalized for not contributing longer in the fund. And those who stay longer get a little more pension. But let it be very clear that the new pension system ordinance forces all civil servants and teachers, regardless which pension agreement they were entitled to, when they enter the fund, to go over into the new system to keep the fund sustainable. The covenant signed with the civil servants unions of the GOA, including the Y2, has been used as an argument to force every civil servant to give up their former pension rights and to go over into the new pension system. Okay? So it's even said that you would get, when you go into the new pension system as a farmer, you would get 10% extra. It was MP Marcelina who presented some serious concerns about this proposal to force every civil servant to give up their old pension rights and to go over into the new pension system, which will result for most of them in a reduction or a cut in their pension benefit. MP Marcelina even mentioned the court case that was won by the Civil Servants Union, APVO, Curaçao, and the heads of the department. The government of the Netherlands Antilles wanted to introduce the average pay for all civil servants in 1997, but had to respect the rights of the civil servants to the protection of their property and their pension. So pension, according to Article 1 of Protocol number 1 of the European Union of Human Rights Treaty, is a property that you accumulate and cannot be taken away. So MP Marcelina therefore asked how many civil servants still has such acquired pension rights. He also cautioned not to force these civil servants because they will win a court case based upon the jurisprudence, but to provide them with a voluntary option to step over into the new pension system. All civil servants and teachers are following the discussion in Parliament with much interest and are hoping that the parliamentarians will instruct the government to respect their acquired pension rights and to look for ways to comply with the pension rights of the public workers.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Bib now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Windward Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Who you for?
Many business owners have had to resort to specific austerity measures to contend with the stagnant economy that followed the hurricanes. This is also true for the average person who has had to endure being laid off or has had to work less hours and receive less pay. Thankfully, over the last 6 to 8 months, there are some signs of life in our economy. Many people are returning to work after more than a year, and those that were given limited work hours and pay are resuming regular work hours and pay, as more businesses are opening and visitors are returning to the island. Much of the improvements that we see taking place today come from the strength of our local businesses and our residents. The businesses are the ones we depend on to not only hire our citizens to work, but also to pay their taxes, much in the same way we depend on the individual citizens to make their tax contributions to government of St. Maarten. That is a heavy burden for businesses at this crucial time. And while we recognize that some companies can and have been making their tax payments, we understand that some businesses, especially the smaller businesses and residents, need some assistance. Therefore, I have instructed the Ministry of Finance, and more in particular the Receiver's Office, to offer an extension on the tax payments to businesses who have outstanding amounts that they believe they can pay all at once, that they can't pay all at once if they were given additional time. I have also included all other taxpayers who for one reason or another have been unable to bring their tax payments up to date. We want to create a sense of ease within our community, especially for those nearing pension age and our senior citizens. The offer has been extended to include everyone, as the problem with the stagnant economy is a problem that affects us all. I want to encourage each citizen who has outstanding taxes to go to the Receiver's Office and see what options will be fit for your particular situation. Some persons with outstanding taxes will be offered a payment plan. This payment plan will allow business owners and residents to pay their taxes in between 4 and 12 months. But in exceptional cases, it can be up to 18 months. This process is not automatic, and if you wish to take advantage of the opportunity, please go to the Receiver's Office and make your request for financial relief. Once you have been granted an extension, you will become exempt from the late fees that would usually apply. Each application will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis to determine the type of relief that is best suited for the business to make its tax payments to government. But also, we are busy reviewing the issues with arrears applicable to fiscal years going back 5 years and longer. As soon as we have information on that particular issue, I will inform the public in general. And in closing, on this subject, I really want to thank those businesses and individuals who continue to pay their taxes and urge everyone to ensure that they meet their tax obligations to the government as is prescribed by law. A correction in the article of the Daily Herald is also in place, because reading that article, it looks like this exemption or this relief facility is only applicable to the business community. But just for clarity's sake, it is also applicable for all citizens of St. Maarten. Then I would like to go over to the budget 2019. As I mentioned in last week's press briefing on questions from Ms. Alita Singh, we know that our budget was on its way to Parliament, or it was already at Parliament. I'm happy to announce to you that the first handling of the budget are scheduled in a CC meeting, and these are scheduled for next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. As you also know, because of the 11th hour advice from the CFT in November last year, where the CFT had doubts about our expense side of the budget to the tune of 503 they suggested to the Kingdom Council of Ministers to have it kept on an amount of 475. The Kingdom Council then took a decision to approve that budget with the condition that we would continue talks with the CFT and find a consensus. Well, that's what we managed to do. We reached a consensus, and the amount now on the expenditures is kept at 478,800,000 guilders.
Hello, St. Martin. My name is Jose Helaga and I play basketball. I have organized basketball events in St. Martin. Sport matters to me because it makes everybody come together in unity. So I challenge the businesses community to step up for sports and help us rebuild and repair our facility. I'm also asking the community to nominate local businesses in your area to take on the challenge and step up for sport because sports matter. Check out the Department of Sports SXM Facebook page for more information. Hashtag Sport Matter, hashtag Are You In?
To touch on. Last week I had an opportunity to attend, and Andrew, thank you for the reminder and the heads up, that Maho was having a labor recruitment drive at the Bel Air, where they had set up there for the whole day, put a couple ads in the newspaper for the week, looking for people interested in working in the hospitality sector. So the good news is that the Maho Sonesta Resort is slowly coming back online in phases. So as their construction process continues, phase by phase, they're opening up floors and wings of their facilities. And so as they phase their opening up, they need more and more workers to fill in to work in the resort, which is great news for our economy. It's a good sign that the recovery process is working. Of course, we've certainly recognized that there's still so much to do, but I think we also need to recognize the positive things. So I took the time to attend and meet with the people who are doing some of the interviews and some of the applicants. It's nice to see as well that there were graduates from the skills training program. Again, for those, a brief reminder, this is a program that started immediately after Hurricane Irma, first as a hospitality skills training program, and then later on evolved into the skills training program. It's a World Bank funded program which helps to educate the people, gives them a stipend as well as health insurance during this process. And the great thing is feedback from the staff that were there from representing Maho was that the feedback from the customers has been tremendous. In other words, the staff that have had reduced working hours and going through the skills training program, the feedback from the customers was that the service was really outstanding. And they said that they found this impressive because they're still dealing with customers in a construction environment, right? So it isn't necessarily the ideal environment, but yet the guests were very happy because they felt that the quality of the service was so good. And so again, this is a win-win solution. So this means we've managed as government to provide support during this hard time. The skill levels have improved, the quality of service has improved, and we're seeing a product that's come back obviously built new and also with high levels of service. The good news as well is that they're looking for people to start immediately. They say there's an urgent need. So, and I don't think that they've found sufficient numbers for their requirements, so they are planning on having a second recruitment conference, a second drive. So again, I encourage those in the community who are looking for work, make sure that you attend, make sure you put your resumes together. It's an opportunity for full employment. The second thing I'd like to do is remind everyone that next week on Tuesday, March 19th, from 3:30 to 6 p.m., we have our meet and greet session. This is an opportunity for those in the reconstruction industry. So we're looking for companies who are related to the reconstruction process. So in particular, material suppliers, contractors, subcontractors, but it could be AC companies, ICT companies, plumbing companies, drywall, tilers, anyone who's related to the reconstruction industry. And really we have a couple objectives. Number one, Government wants to listen to the industry. We want to understand what can we do to help to stimulate or facilitate the reconstruction process. So we want to listen to what are the challenges that are being felt. As I've said, we have some indications that the construction sector in particular is slowing down. We also have some indications that it is a highly non-compliant sector, meaning that there's a lot of companies that are working without their proper registration, without paying their proper taxes and social premiums. And so we'd like to get some feedback from the sector because, as the media recalls, we have an incidental work permit policy. So right after Irma, we put a policy in place to facilitate the reconstruction process. And this is a process that some of the larger projects have taken advantage of, which means they've been able to bring in workers from abroad with criteria. So that means they had to provide them housing, they had to prove that they're paying their social premiums, their taxes, and the permits are non-renewable only for the construction of that particular project. Once the project is done, they have to go. So this policy was put in place in order to stimulate the reconstruction process, but based on the feedback that we're getting, the ministry feels that we need to get a more in-depth perspective as to what's happening and if we need to revisit this policy and perhaps stop the incidental work permit policy. But again, we need feedback from the community, we need feedback from the industry as to whether this is an appropriate decision or not. So encourage everybody to come out. Again, this is March 19th. It's going to be held here at the new government building from 3:30 to 6 p.m. We would appreciate if people would confirm their attendance. The phone number that they can call, 520-5270. That's 520-5270.